Welcome to the Lisa Eve Show. I am Lisa Eve, and again, we've been having the difficulties with my computer not turning on, not opening the program once it does turn on. But I mean, this is what we have for now, and at least I'm here now, so it let me eventually come. So hi, welcome. For those of you who are watching on Spotify, I want to let you know that you can join me live every morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for Sunday. Sunday is a pre-recorded show, although last Sunday was live because I didn't pre-record the day before. So either way, every day there's going to be content from me. I'm going to be sharing my firefly energy either way. So yes, if you are listening on another platform, I want you to know you can watch me because this is also in video format, or you can on Spotify, or you can watch me live on YouTube. Just search the Lisa Eve Show, and then you'll find me. Love to have you. As of this moment, this is show number. Don't quote me on this because last time I said I was wrong. I think this is number 32 or 33 episode. We haven't had anyone join us live yet, but I'm pretty sure that's just God giving me the opportunity to work out all of the kinks within myself as well as with technology like my computer. So I know that people will be here in divine timing, God's will, not my will. And I was gonna say something else after that. I can't remember what I was gonna say. It's fine. Silly good. So God, please guide me. God, please guide this broadcast. So guys, this is heaven. We're here. Now the way this works is not everyone is necessarily going to be here. Some of you are on your way here. Some of you are already here. And I kind of feel like at this exact moment, if you're watching this, you're probably on your way or have just kind of gotten here. I have been here for a while, but I've not acknowledged it. So if I were going to put a time frame on it from my limited thinking mind, I would say I've probably been here in heaven for about 2 to 3 months now. And I would say that I started noticing it when the type of trees that were planted in my front yard changed. So, I mean trees that have been here for a long time. Completely. I don't know what kind of trees they were before, but I've lived here for a few years now. And this year, they turned into cherry blossoms. And this walkway that I take often became lined with cherry blossoms, and they were not cherry blossoms last year or the year before, and these trees were not uprooted and replanted. That's not what happened. The type of tree just changed. Cherry blossoms are really special to me in my heart, and so just all of a sudden there were cherry blossoms all over my town. And I assure you, my town didn't replant. No, I stepped into heaven, and heaven apparently wants to shower me with cherry blossoms. And at first, when I started noticing it, I'm like, what the heck? That's a cherry blossom. I would have absolutely noticed, for starters, if it was a cherry blossom, because I'm really into them. Okay, so I would have noticed. And my son actually did a project for school where he went around identifying the trees around us to like learn about them. And I assure you, it was not a cherry blossom in my front yard. Make that too. And and I was with my daughter, and I was like, baby, that's a cherry blossom. Not that she knew anything about this. And I'm like, this is not the same tree. This is not the same tree. And then my son comes over. He didn't hear us. He was very far away. He comes over. He's like, what? This tree changed. And I'm like, I know. That's what I was just saying. Oh my God. And I'm like, son, look. He's like, Mom, this is not the same tree. I'm like, I know it's not the same tree. And then we were just like taking this walk, this path that we always take. And I'm like, look at how the cherry blossoms. And my son's like, Mom, these weren't here before. I'm like, I know. I know this. Where did they come from? And then as we were walking through my town, my daughter's like, Mom, look, there's more cherry blossoms. And I'm like, what's happening? What is happening? I just had questions. And then what I realized is new reality. I didn't think of heaven, but I was like, this is a new reality. Like, and then I noticed that in the whatever space I'm in now, the trees can literally become another tree that blooms and blossoms. So I will see the same tree turn into another tree with different types of blossoms, 100% different type of tree. And so I've just been enjoying it. And I'm like, ooh, what are you now? It's like, ooh, what are you now? Oh, you're so beautiful. What are you now? You're so beautiful. What are you going to become now? So like, these trees are just like putting on this blossom show, and they're like, I present honeysuckles, and then there they are. I think I have to sneeze. Hang on. I saved you guys. At least I think I did. Okay, and then I'll come back, and then it'll just be like this whole other type of blossoming fruit looking thing, and it's like, oh, you're so pretty. Well, what are you gonna become now? And like the whole leaves will change color. Oh my God, it's beautiful and it's crazy and I love it. That is absolutely one of the first things that I noticed about heaven. Also, the fragrances are super strong for these blossoms. So that's something I super notice. And what else did I notice physically about being in heaven? I can't remember. That's the one that sticks out because it's like I see that. I see it like almost every day. So that's the one that's super easy for me to think about. I guess I could say that like it's easier for me to be in like a high vibrational energy, and it's like much easier for things to like not bother me. It feels like things are manifesting like much faster. Oh, I had an instant manifestation yesterday. I was walking somewhere and I was just thinking, oh, I wish I could see this person. And then within about 60 seconds, I turn to the right and that person's sitting there and I'm just like, and then they wave back. I was like, that was an instant manifestation. Okay, 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 God. What else can I instantly manifest? Thy will, not my will. For starters, there's that. Thy will, God, not my will. I just realized that I can push my TV to the wall and get it out of the view. It's been pulled out for so long that I didn't realize it could be pushed in. So look, there's no TV in the view. Can you believe it? So yeah, in terms of like how I'm feeling, you guys can hear that there's something going on in my voice. Um, but I don't feel, yesterday I did feel really, really My throat is like, it hurt to talk yesterday, okay? But somehow today I feel like I've recovered a little bit. So, like, I can talk a little bit normal. Like, you can hear it in my voice, but, like, it doesn't feel like pain. After I got off the live stream, I went to bed and I woke up and it was just like, there was some pain there, okay? So, today I'm doing a bit better. But, like, I feel, you know, felt a little funny. So, my beautifuls. Can you feel the energy? It feels like there's waves, and it feels like I'm on, like, I wouldn't say I'm on the first wave. I would not say that. But I would say it feels like I'm on one of the first waves, and God is like having me like create this trail for you guys to come behind me. Of course, you don't have to be behind me. You can come on up here and join me, but it feels like there's a wave and I'm riding this particular wave, and it's like I'm leaving a trail behind me so that those who want to come can come to heaven. And it's so fascinating to say that, because if you look physically with my circumstances, like, I'm living in like this kind of housing, and like I'm on social services, and I have this job that, while by all standards I would consider to be everything that I've asked for in a contemporary 9 to 5, it's still not fit for me, and it drains me, and it's not conducive to my being, my feminine flow. It puts me in my masculine, and it just doesn't work for me. I realize, like, I'm really soft. Like, that's what I realized about myself, and I'm just gonna have to acknowledge it. Like, I'm really soft, and I'm like really sensitive. And this position, being like a very masculine oriented place, which completely makes sense, right? Like, being in its masculine, because it's literally producing food for this country. So it makes complete sense that it's in its masculine energy. But it doesn't work for me. I need a different structure. I don't need a 9 to 5. I need to be able to flow freely with my feminine flow, and do this work that God has set for me. That's what I need. So it's, I'm gonna be honest, a wonderful place. It really is. It's just not a match for me. And I know some of you have met just these wonderful people and also acknowledged that they weren't for you. I've had that experience. I want to say to you that your knowing is right. Like, the last date I went on, this date that I went on in 2021, that's the correct way to say it. This date I went on in 2021, This man he was kind, total gentleman. I felt safe with him. He was focused on me, and he was super focused on me, which in a way made me feel a little uncomfortable because I didn't feel comfortable. And my lack of comfort had nothing to do with him. My lack of comfort was about something that I couldn't put my finger on at the time, but afterwards I could. I could put my finger on it. So guys, you guys should take bets as to whether I'm gonna cry in a live broadcast or not. He even made sure that I got home and didn't try anything. He didn't try to touch me one time, which I really respected that. Although he did want to share a fork with me and share food with me, which I found strange, especially because COVID was going on, you know. But it was endearing. I could tell he was trying to really make a connection with me, but I did not end up sharing my fork with him. I did, however, give him permission to take from my plate if he wanted to do that. So I said, "Here, take what you want. Like, go ahead." He was walking me home, and I could feel his intensity of focus on me, which would normally be a wonderful and beautiful thing. Like, I could feel that this man was completely willing to rearrange his life to make me a priority, and this was just one date, and that made me feel uncomfortable, and I'll tell you why. After I got home and I closed my door, I knew he wasn't the one for me. And my oldest was like, "Mom, how was your date?" I was like, "It was amazing. He was sweet. He was kind." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to hear that." And I was like, "And I'm never going to date with him again." She was like, "Wait, why?" I was like, "He's not the one for me." And she's like, "Oh, well, fair enough." But it was confusing to say all of that. Of course, now I have much more clarity around it. When when I met the man that God chose for me, I had told him about the date I went on, and he was like, well, why didn't you go out with him again?" And I'm like, "Because he wasn't the one for me." And during that conversation with the man that God chose for me, we had only been talking about an hour. And I realized that I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to word it. I can put it this way. Within the first hour of talking to the man that God chose for me, without having the awareness that God chose this person for me. I knew that I was not interested in talking to anyone else within that first hour. If any other man had tried to talk to me in that way, I would not have been interested. That's what I can say to you. Within the first hour of talking to this person. And I'm the kind of person who I'm just generally, I don't know why God did this, but God has made it so that I don't know, it's like God almost made it so that I can't really see other men. Like, I can physically see them, but there's like almost no chance for them to stir my heart. I don't know if that makes any sense. I know some of you are feeling that because I feel you right now. But God made it so that while plenty of men talk to me and have interest in me and say things to me, God has made it so that it's almost impossible to stir my heart. It's almost impossible to get me interested. It's almost impossible to make me take notice of you in the way of romance. And when men say things to me like, oh, you're beautiful or whatever, like, I accept it as having been said, but I don't do anything else with that information. Like, it just is information and it comes in, I acknowledge it, I thank it, and then it goes out. It doesn't like go in, go down into my heart, start stirring it or anything and like rest in me. It goes in, I acknowledge it, I might be gratitude for it, right? Like it might go in, but it'll come back up and then go out my other ear. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I'm just trying to explain something to you guys because I know someone understands me. And I think God did this on purpose. But yeah, like, men do let me know, like, oh, like, well, I'm better now that I've seen you. Or, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And I don't internalize it. Like, I just don't. I can't. It's impossible for me to do so. So what that means is that there's like almost no movement in my romantic life whatsoever. Even though there's this intense, strong desire to be in union with, at the time I would say my person. Several years ago, after the end of my last relationship, I said, God, and this is for you guys who don't know what to say, okay? Because this is what I said. I said, God, I don't know what I want. I don't know what's good for me. God, I'm confused. But I do know that I want to be married and I want to be happy. So God, can you please choose my person for me? Can you choose my husband for me, God? Can you bring them to me, God? Because on my own, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to even ask for. I don't know where to begin. I don't have a frame of reference. I don't have examples, God. So I need you. I need you to do it, God. I need you to do it. This was in 2021 when I said this to God. God delivered. We're not together right now in the 3D. We're not together in this physical realm, but God delivered. Now, for contrast, and by the way, there were definitely men whom I run into often who continue to let me know that, like, they think I'm beautiful, seeing me brightens their day, you know, just brightens their whole season. Like, I had someone who told me I made their whole Christmas just because they saw me. And, it goes in. I don't know. Sometimes it goes down and comes back up and then goes out the ear. But it just doesn't stick. It doesn't stir me. I don't know why. It just doesn't. For contrast, after I met this person and we'd been speaking for about an hour. Well, here's contrast from the beginning. From the beginning, the contrast is that, to be honest, there's like this wall and I'm closed off, okay? So when these men are talking to me, it's like I'm shielded, and so I cannot even really take in what they're saying. I have trained myself to be able to take a compliment though. So that happens. With this person, there was very little, if any, shielding. Like, I was just open receptor to this person. Like, auto magically. Open receptive. And if there was any sort of barriers within that first hour, they were gone. And there was like this new kind of barrier formed, if we will. And it was more like having him on the inside of the barrier, and then the barrier was put back. Let's just say like that, okay? And so, while I wasn't conscious of it, after the first hour, I knew that no other man would do. And after the first 24 hours of knowing him, my heart was his. My heart was open and had taken him in, and I was his. I recognized him. And of course, it would take a few months before I would get the language and realize that this was the man chose for me. I realized that I was literally born for this person, and that this person was born for me. Like, it's a beautiful feeling that God is so perfect. God's universe is perfect. And that God had made a person that was perfect for me, and that I was perfect for. So, if you're if you're unable to receive from other men, well, it could be a few things, right? But if you're watching this and you're here with me, it's probably because deep down inside you know that there's a person for you, and you can recognize right away whether that person is it. Because I always hoped there was someone just for me. I did. But I wasn't sure, because I feel like I'm very different from other people. And over time, my thought around being very different has only solidified. So it's like, God, I don't know what kind of concoction you'd have to make someone who's perfect. Alexa, cancel. This is a Alexa, cancel. I don't know what kind of creation you would have to make. But guys, let me tell you, God's universe is perfect. And God really showed off when he made this man. He showed all the way off. God said, watch me work, and he made this man. God said, don't ever doubt me. And he made that man. God said, you gonna learn today. And then he made that man. And I've actually said this to him. I said, I don't know what kind of combination, concoction, creation God had to do to make you. I said that, but he's the most incredible being I have ever encountered on this earth. I don't know how God did that. Of course, he thinks the same about me. And I know what your guys' questions are. And I'm not answering them right now. Okay, fine. I hear some of them. Okay, I'm only going to answer this because I can feel that some of you are in the same position. So basically, God told you who your person is, right? And by the way, God did later tell me that this was my person, because I was just in the magic of this person's existence, and God told me that that was my person that he chose for me. I don't want to say that, God. Okay, God told me that this person that he created is the best way to love me, since God is not here on earth. So God created that person because he's the best way to love me, since God is not here on earth. And if you're watching this, I have this distinct feeling that there are a lot of you who have someone like that, because you're watching this. Of course, I guess statistically not everyone would have that. But I feel like if you do wonder if you have that, you probably do. And it kind of feels like God might be bringing me here in, like, doing this, like, it feels like a part of my mission might be all around this exact topic of God's chosen getting together. Okay, I'll answer the question. Okay, so it's mostly probably women in here. I know there's some men. But to these women, to some of the men who God has told you who your person is, God has let you know, but you guys aren't together. Don't give up, okay? Just rest, relax, calm down. Just calm yourself down. Just breathe through it. Because God's universe is perfect and God has divine timing. Thy will, not my will, God, okay? Thy will, not my will, God, okay? Okay? Just breathe through it. God wants you to rest because rest is the evidence of faith. Rest is the evidence of faith, okay? Rest is the evidence of faith. That is so. Okay, guys, so hold on. Don't give up about it. So let God's perfect universe do its thing. I'm going to throw this out there, and this will make sense to some of you, and some of you it won't. God's universe is perfect. Therefore, you are already in union. It is an illusion that you are not in union. God's universe is perfect. Therefore, your physical union has to be, because God's universe is perfect. Take some deep breaths with me. God's universe is perfect. Therefore, you are already in physical union. You are already in physical union because God's universe is perfect. You are already in physical union because God's universe is perfect. Breathe in God's perfect universe. Wow. Let me know in the comments if you felt that. Okay, so we're running a little long today. I did not think we were going in this direction. As I say, I never really know what we're going to talk about, so I don't know why I'm always surprised by that. I have no idea why I'm always surprised by that. Okay, so with that, I guess I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you guys here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and may my computer please work.